Hey, welcome to a new Q&A session for Ymir. Here's a question by Jonathan. What's the long-term plans and goals for Ymir? Your five-year vision? Would you want to grow it until you can't handle it yourself and then sell, join another product agency in order to keep scaling, or basically question mark? Okay, so this is a really uh, I really love this question, and it's kind of more philosophical than really. I don't have a concrete answers for you, Jonathan, about it. I know that right now there's a lot of consolidation going on and acquisitions going on in the WordPress space. I can tell you that I'm that's the reality is I'm stealing this. It really stuck with me. Christy Chirinos said this to me when they sold when her and Josh sold Caldera Forms. There's really only three ways your company is gonna end. It's either you go out of business, like you go bankrupt, or either you close it down or you get acquired. Um, I don't know which one of those three it's going to be yet. What I can tell you is, in terms of long-term plans, I've wanted to start a business for a long time. Like this is what I've been building towards for a decade now, and for me, I always liked helping developers. Ever since I've graduated from college, uh, I just like developers. I actually tried to get hired at Ubisoft, and I didn't want to be a games developer. I actually wanted to be a tools developer. I just wanted to develop tools for the game developers because just that's how much I like developers, and that's always what I wanted to do with Ymir is just build a tool that was for developers. But not only that, I want Ymir to be a brand for developers. So like long term, um, I there's different ways this product could go. I could move up, try to target agencies and things like that. But like I said, I like developers, so like I want to stay with developers if I can. So if I things I could do would be like I've thought about like, oh, maybe I could just do something closer with like do something a bit like Netlify, where like you don't even have to worry about your bills. You just pay me a fixed amount. But then I'm getting into hosting. Do I want to be a host? Do I not want to be a host? Then I could also just branch out of WordPress. I could do Drupal, Magento, whatnot. I don't know like if that's what I want. Like I like WordPress people, and I kind of want to serve WordPress, not necessarily the whole PHP community, but maybe that's what I'll need to do. But what's really important for me is that Emir is just it's like step one of a like something to build, like building something for WordPress developers, especially. Um, Once it brings me like my goal right now, it feels so far fetched because sorry, I'm putting something in my eye, um, but it it feels far fetched because I still don't make that much money. But you know, there's just a lot of stuff that I'd like to do with developers. Like one thing that I talk about a bunch of times is like I'd like to bring back LoopConf. Like I'd love to have some financial security through Emir where I can just use that as a launching pad to just do other things for WordPress developers, like host a developer conference that's more tailored for like the advanced developers and the developers and agencies. There's really nothing really that targets them or that's helpful for them, and like I'd love to be able to help them, and then uh, and maybe other tangential products. The good thing with Emir that I kind of intentionally picked was that I wanted it to be a product where not that it you know it'll that it'll I'll stop working on it, but there's like it's kind of asymptotal. There's like there's going to be a point where there's just I've built what I need to build to cover to make it a good product, and then there'll be improvements to make, but there's no like leap like huge thing where I just keep building the product. Like like I don't want it to become like I'm going to use like Dropbox, where like Dropbox was great and you had file sharing. Now it does like a million other things. Like I don't want Ymir to be that. Like I want it to be a focused product that does a focused thing. Um, I want it to be a platform for developers for deploying WordPress sites, um, and managing WordPress sites, like serverless WordPress sites, and that makes developers happy. So I think there's still a lot of work to do, but it's not something that'll be a forever thing. And that's great because then I can keep working a bit on that product, but I can start thinking about how I can help other WordPress developers in other ways, like I said, with a conference or things like that. So that's kind of where I'm thinking of going. And you'll notice that in that discussion, there has been no discussion of selling or joining, because it's just not what I'm thinking about. Like for me, it's really it's a 5-10 year plan. If if things go well and I can, that's what I would like. Because I mean, after 10 years, who knows? Like it's hard to predict. Like what WordPress was 10 years ago and what it is now is very, and it's hard to predict what WordPress will be in 10 years. But I'm confident PHP will still be there, and I'm confident that PHP will still be popular and be something great that I like to work with. So I think just staying here and at least for the next 10 years makes, I can't see myself doing something else, because it's like I said, I'm just using it as like a launch pad for like the ability to do other things as well. So hopefully that helps and that answers a bit the question. But yeah, it's something I think about all the time, and I definitely have ideas. It's just I'm still so early, in the in the life of this product to really know, what I'll be able to do and what's achievable, how the landscape's going to change. But for me, at least Emir, or I know you'll enjoy this, or maybe I should start like an EDA brand for like the instead, and just do an umbrella of Nordic mythology products. But that's kind of the idea, is just serve. I'd like it to be. I'd like to be a brand that people love, that developers love, and hopefully that'll be the case. And that's kind of like my long term plan.